right now at 7.
This event was heinous. The district attorney has not elected to file homicide charges on these two individuals.
The feds taking matters into their own hands tonight while they stepped in on the investigation into a deadly Bay Area shootout.
Want to be kings of the street. Don't have a throne waiting for them. They have a federal prison cell waiting for them.
There are certain exceptions for crimes against children.
A teacher facing sexual abuse charges tonight. The case sending shockwaves through 2 East Bay high schools.
Personally, I was attacked and robbed on BART.
And BART's unusual new idea to fight crime. Do riders think it's going to make a difference?
I just haven't got the courage to get back on BART yet.
The feds jumping in to bring justice in a deadly Bay Area shootout right now on the KPIX-5 News at 7 and streaming on CBS and Bay Area. New charges in that gun battle that injured innocent bystanders. Good evening, I'm Veronica Dela Cruz.
And I'm Ken Bassita. KPIX-5's Andrea Borba live in San Francisco with those details. Andrea?
Well, Ken and Veronica, the shooting happened on this stretch of sidewalk behind me on Fillmore Street in the Fillmore district of San Francisco. Now, the charges that were filed today were not local charges, but federal ones. With cameras rolling, the DOJ, FBI, and SFPD announced charges in a gang shootout on Fillmore Street last March.
Want to be kings of the street. Don't have a throne waiting for them. They have a federal prison cell waiting for them.
It happened outside a memorial at the Fillmore Heritage Center. Mr. D. Simmons was killed and 5 other people were injured, one paralyzed from the waist down. Tonight, 2 men, 26-year-old Jamari Coates and 28-year-old Robert Manning, are facing charges of being felons in possession of firearms, using a firearm in the death, and racketeering charges, all with gang enhancements, all on the federal, not local level.
The district attorney has not elected to file homicide charges on these two individuals. You'd have to defer to their office on what they intend to do.
At the time of the shooting, the DA's office was helmed by George Gascon. Off camera, a spokesperson told KPIX-5 that 2 men, Coates and another, Sean Harrison, were arrested and charged on March 27th for being felons in possession of a firearm and held them without bail, but not on murder charges, because in the eye of prosecutors, the man who died, Mr. D. Simmons, fired first, and they considered it self-defense. But notably, this was a case of SFPD investigators bypassing the district attorney's office.
We're able to have options. They give us the ability to hold people accountable for these type of acts. So we're very thankful for these relationships and thankful that we do have the options. But specifically for your question, I would refer you to the district attorney's office.
Now, today's press conference and indictment announcement comes just hours after Chesa Boudin was sworn into office as San Francisco's new district attorney. The case here today full of gang enhancement charges. In his campaign, Boudin said he would not prosecute gang enhancements. Ken, that's where we are right now.
All right, we'll see what happens. Thank you, Andrea Borba, reporting live from San Francisco.
A student at Las Lomas High School in Walnut Creek under arrest, accused of bringing a loaded gun to class. The campus was on lockdown for about an hour after police say they got an anonymous tip and found the weapon in the student's backpack. The student's name is not being released, but classmates tell us they were stunned.
I was rather surprised because when I walked into wood shop, I asked where he was, and people were like, no. And I was like, oh, it kind of clicked in my head, and I was shocked. It didn't sit well with me.
A Contra Costa County high school teacher facing felony sex charges tonight. Kyle Ann Wood accused of having unlawful relationships with 2 students, but charges relate to just one, a Jane Doe victim under the age of 18. The alleged crimes date back to between 1996 and 1998 when Wood worked at Acalanes High School. The statute of limitations, not an issue in this case.
There are certain exceptions for crimes against children in particular in this case, as long as they involve substantial sexual conduct and that there is clear and convincing evidence that supports the case as well.
Wood has been working as a teacher at Miramonte High School in Orinda. She is now on administrative leave.
Right now in Oakland, a town hall on public safety is underway in the wake of a laptop theft in Montclair that left a young man dead on New Year's Eve. 34-year-old Xu Zhen went after the thieves. He was killed when their getaway car hit him as it sped away. Councilmember Sheng Tao, who represents that area, called tonight's meeting to address what she calls an uptick in crime. Normally quiet district has seen a rash of recent thefts.
It doesn't have to be police, but just like local, maybe just like a driver driving around, keeping track of the area, or more cameras that are efficient. I think that would be really helpful.
Bloomingdale's two burglars smashed their way into the store at 2 a.m. Tuesday at the Stanford Shopping Center in Palo Alto. They use a rock to shatter display cases and then make off with $83,000 in jewelry and watches. Burglars and their getaway driver still on the loose tonight. BART taking a new approach in tackling its crime problem. It doesn't involve more police. KPIX-5's Don Lynn says instead it is all about perception.
BART says that this will be the first time they'll have employees spend their entire shift riding BART trains. BART says crime is up 11% year over year.
Personally, I was attacked and robbed on BART.
BART doors opened and my phone was snatched from my hand.
That happened 3 weeks ago. Sammy Redberg believes the thief targeted her because she's blind. She has not ridden BART since the theft. She hopes the new ambassador program will help her feel safe again.
I'm traumatized. I'm scared. I'm very scared.
Motion carries unanimously.
Wonderful. Thank you all.
In a 6-month pilot program, BART will hire 10 ambassadors. These are unarmed workers trained to de-escalate situations. In teams of 2, they will ride trains from 2 p.m. to midnight every day to look for problems, from bad behavior to violent incidents. They'll radio for police officers if it's something big.
It's a puzzle that we're putting together to regain the trust of our riders, and I think this is a big piece of it.
Passengers hope the ambassador program will work.
A couple sets of eyes and ears looking for the problems before they get out of control would be a great improvement.
I just haven't got the courage to get back on BART yet, but I will. I'm resilient.
The program will cost just under $700,000. The target start date, February 10th. At the Lafayette BART station, I'm Don Lynn, KPIX-5.
Coming up next, more on BART, the high-tech upgrade finally coming to trains.
Plus, the investigation tonight after claims a jetliner was shot out of the sky over Iran. The evidence that could escalate tensions even more. Plus,
there's something very 1890s and a little outdated about trying to check a woman's chastity.
Plus, how one rapper and his daughter are now spurring big change when it comes to an unusual medical procedure.
And the 49ers kick off in less than 48 hours from now. The added security at Levis Stadium.
And one part of the team is finally back at full strength. Why it'll make the big game extra special for 2 key players.
They're like an old married couple back there, man. You go into the huddle sometimes and they'll be arguing about something like, what? Are you guys even in the same game as me right now?
And the next round of rain is coming in on Saturday before the Niners game. We're going to time that out in detail coming up in the forecast, and we're going to talk about how cold it's going to feel tomorrow morning. Coming right up.
And don't forget, we're streaming right now on CBSN Bay Area. You can find us on KPIX.com, the CBS News app, or your favorite platform.
Playoff Saturday at Levis Stadium. Fans being put on notice. You better be cool.
Yeah, when the teams take the field, security teams will be taking the stands. Anyone acting up will be shown the exit or could face arrest. Keep in mind, mingling in the crowd with the uniformed officers, even more police undercover.
What a lot of fans may not see is all the layers of security that are happening that are not clear in their eyes, meaning officers that are not in uniform, officers that are dressed in fan attire.
Yeah, as for what happens on the field during the game, Vern is here to talk about the possibilities.
You think it's a big deal that we're making about Saturday's game. What if they win and advance to the NFC Championship game. Oh, man, Levi's is just going to be hopping. Hey, 49ers spotlight, of course, on defensive rocks like D Ford, Nick Bosa, Quan Alexander. But let's don't forget about the starting safety. His name?
Jaquiski Tart. Jaquiski Tart. You know, because I feel like he's not getting enough love because they just don't know how to say his name.
Tart's return puts the 49ers secondary back at full strength, even though he isn't quite there himself following a rib injury.
I'm not 100%, but you never 100% in football, so I'll be good.
Jimmy Ward is excited to have number 29 back.
It's big time, man, and it's cool. He's back. I'm happy to be playing side to side with him again.
The two grew up together in Mobile, Alabama, and will make their postseason debuts on Saturday.
They're like an old married couple back there, man. You go into the huddle sometimes and they'll be arguing about something. Be like, what? Are you guys even in the same game as me right now? What are y'all talking about? Well, Quas did this and Jimmy did this.
Defensive backs are probably tired of hearing all the stories. But back in high school, basketball was Tart's first love, and he had to be talked into playing football his senior year. What's the story? He was a basketball star in high school?
Who added the star now? I just want to know. Okay. I'm just saying, I feel like he was good, but I don't know about a star. No, I was just playing, but he was pretty good in basketball.
What are the chances? A couple of guys growing up in the same town,
Yeah.
they go to the same high school, and then together they're going to be playing their first playoff game for the same NFL team, the 49ers. By the way, favored by a touchdown over the Vikings.
Can't wait. It's going to be a great day.
Neither can I. Can't wait either.
Vern, thank you.
Vern, thank you. Hey, be careful along Bay Area shorelines because king tides are going to begin at around 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. They're expected to reach well above 6 feet in the coming days, and Darren Peck, of course, has been tracking that for us. Darren?
It's not only tomorrow, so it happens in the 10 o'clock hour tomorrow morning, and then on Saturday it's the 11 o'clock hour in the morning, and then on Sunday it happens a little afternoon.
All right.
And then things will start to quiet down with that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they will.
Have you seen next week's forecast?
Well, we won't be having king tides then, so that's at least something we can take to the bank. Let me show you what it looks like out there right now from our camera on Treasure Island, looking back towards the city skyline. Some numbers right now. We're finally starting to see the 40s begin, and that's the beginning of this story. It's gonna be cold tomorrow. Look at the numbers in the North Bay. Santa Rosa is going down to 34. 33 in Fairfield, 35 in Concord, there's 38 in San Jose. So tomorrow morning will be noticeably colder than you remember this morning being. No cloud cover, a lot clearer, and the temperatures could be as much as 7 to 10 degrees colder to start the day. But for daytime highs, pretty much still coming in right on the mark for average, maybe a couple of degrees off. Let's get everybody in on this one. We'll start out in the South Bay. Enjoy those low 60s. Down in Los Gatos, San Jose, it's going to be a blue sky day for most of the day tomorrow. We start to get ourselves over towards the East Bay. There's Walnut Creek coming in at 55. San Ramon will hit 56. We'll top out in the same spot through the North Bay, mid to upper 50s. There's Novato at 57, and up in the far North Bay, Cloverdale's going to 58. We'll top out at 58 in St. Helena. So let's jump ahead. Since tomorrow's going to be blue skies, let's go to tomorrow night. By 7 o'clock, the clouds have begun to increase after sunset, and that's when the rain starts to come back. But it really becomes more widespread after midnight. That gets us ahead to about 11 o'clock tomorrow night. North Bay starting to see the showers. Here we are in the 3 o'clock hour. It's coming right across the heart of the bay. Here we are in the 5 o'clock hour. It's centered down on the South Bay, right over Santa Clara, right over Levi Stadium. We're going to get some rain here on that field before we get to sunrise. And then once we get past sunrise, it's done. Really, by the time we get to about 8 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to clear out the chance for rain. Probably still have some leftover clouds for Saturday. But as far as any rain is concerned, by the time we get past late morning, we're done. And even at that, the totals are fairly light for the early morning hours. That's rain chance number 1. There's a couple more opportunities on here, namely on Tuesday and then again on Thursday. They don't look like major storms either. Kind of this pattern that we've been stuck in, where we get a weak little storm, comes through, drops some light rain. We get a break for a few days, another weak little storm comes through, drops some light rain. We keep doing that all winter. Maybe we'll catch up to average because we're sitting well below it at this point in the season for many locations. All right, guys, back over to you.
All right, Darren, thank you. Here's what you missed if you're just getting home. Iranian officials are denying new claims a Ukrainian jetliner that crashed outside Tehran was shot down by mistake. CBS News has learned the plane was likely targeted by an Iranian anti-aircraft system. Security camera video appears to capture the flaming wreckage falling to the ground, killing all 176 people on board.
This new information reinforces the need for a thorough investigation into this matter.
Some people say it was mechanical. I personally don't think that's even a question, personally.
Music, chants, blaring horns marking a protest against the threat of war with Iran. This one outside Oakland's Grand Lake Theater, one of at least 9 taking place in the Bay Area, with the message, no war with Iran.
Most people here are more about the issue of peace and whether or not the U.S. really wants to get involved in another major war.
BART adding some new connections. They won't be on the schedule. They'll be on your phone. The BART board unanimously approved a plan to add free Wi-Fi and improve underground cell service. The upgrades will also pave the way for future mobile ticketing. BART says the vendor is footing the whole bill. Ken?
All right, thanks, Veronica. Coming up, how mustard gas and other weapons of war are getting in the way of a new possible facility to house Bay Area homeless.
We thought, oh, that's probably not a good site to choose from.
It's time that we show young girls and women the respect that they deserve.
The medical procedure that many doctors call outdated, how a comment from a rapper about his daughter is spurring some changes. And it has social media still buzzing tonight. What was Steph Curry saying to another star player after last night's Warriors game?
Don't forget, we're streaming right now on CBSN Bay Area. You can find us on KPIX.com, the CBS News app, or your favorite platform. Sonoma County officials have been looking for a safe place to relocate a group of homeless people.
They thought they found a perfect site until someone remembered what lies beneath it. Some officials proposed moving a homeless encampment on the Joe Rodota Trail to the yard near the airport, a corp yard. The problem, that corp yard sits on land that during World War II was part of the Santa Rosa Army Airfield. Decades ago, crews digging on the site found canisters of diluted mustard gas, which is poisonous. So the county will look for a new place to locate the homeless facility. As for the mustard gas,
Everything is deemed safe if you simply pave it over and don't disturb the soil. We recognized that there were some buried munitions under that site, and we thought, oh, that's probably not a good site to choose from.
Meanwhile, Sonoma County homeless czar Jeffrey Ross just called it quits amid a growing crisis over that growing camp. About 200 people now live there on the Joe Rodota Trail. The camp so overrun by rats that the sheriff's department spotted them from its helicopter.
A new push tonight to ban virginity testing on women in California under a new bill. Any doctor who performs or supervises these exams would face punishment with the medical board. An assemblywoman from San Diego says she decided to write the bill following controversial remarks by rapper T.I. Last year, he said he has virginity tests performed on his teenage daughter every year.
This is not a medical procedure most doctors believe has any value. And it's time that we show young girls and women the respect that they deserve, and that's not to test them for their chastity.
Gonzalez's hope is to have the bill on Governor Newsom's desk by the end of the year. A similar bill was proposed in New York last month.
Coming up next, a phrase that Steph Curry said sent trade rumors flying. So what was he really talking about?
Tonight on The Late Show, Congress tries to rein in Trump, and I sit down with Senator Bernie Sanders, or Larry Davis just stuck around from last night.
You can see Sanders on Colbert coming up right after the KPIX-5 News at 11.
He's so funny.
Well, social media is still buzzing about what happened with Steph Curry after last night's Warriors game. Now, you can see, if you look closely, Steph is mouthing the words, "Let's do it," to Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis, social media went wild, claiming Curry was asking him to join the Dubs. Giannis, also known as the Greek Freak, will be a free agent next year. Earlier today, Curry explained that he was talking to him about video games, nothing else. And he tweeted, "Appreciate the laughs this morning."
Thanks for watching the news at 7. It continues streaming right now on CBS and Bay Area.
We'll be back here at 11 o'clock. Have a good night.